Before we get started, make sure you're wearing your headphones for maximum audio experience.
Hi, listeners. My name is Nikki G, and I am today's guest for Rhyme and Reason podcast. We will be discussing why and how talking to strangers is a good thing. So, stay tuned.
Hello, listeners. My name is El, and welcome back to Rhyme and Reason Podcast. Before we begin, I would like to introduce today's guest, Miss Mickey. She is a classmate of mine in the University of the Philippines Open University. Hello, Mickey, and welcome.
Hi, El. Thanks for having me here. Well, I am Nikki, and I am a second-year student at the University of the Philippines Open University, and I am taking the program of Multimedia Studies. So, Elle and I met through one of our courses in arts, and I am 21 years old, and I am actually planning to have my own podcast one of these days. But this is just the beginning. I'm just starting out. So I'm just testing the waters. So thanks for inviting me, Elle. So I could test how this podcasting thing works.
Starting a podcast is pretty difficult at first, but once you get started, you'll get the hang of it.
I hope so. And I'm still trying to find my niche.
Yeah. But how are you today? Or tonight, rather?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty nervous because it's my first time. But hopefully I'll be comfortable in the few minutes as we get into the actual conversation.
Yeah. But before we dive into our topic, I noticed on one of your My Day stories a few weeks ago that you took a photography course, right?
Yeah, I did. It was really fun.
How was that? Like, what kind of requirements did you do?
Well, for the photography class, we were asked to do this final project. It's actually a portfolio of our own, wherein we are asked to put our best 25 photos in there.
Ooh, 25.
And then we are required to create a website and that should look very professional. Basically, it's a digital portfolio, and for that, I'm a noob when it comes to photography, but I have chosen portrait photography to focus on since I'm into people. I'm into less than objects. I'm not that much into scenes and objects. So yeah, I focus on portrait photography, and I actually bought a new lens for it. It's kind of expensive. Photography is an expensive pursuit.
Yeah. Okay, so in photographs that are taken, do you need, in photography, is it required to have an expensive camera rather than a variety of mobile phones? Yeah.
Actually, it's easier to shoot with your iPhone or with your mobile phone because it's easier to tweak, and it's not that heavy. But if you want to pursue photography in a professional sense, then you really need to have your own camera. Because if I'm going to be your client, of course, I don't want my photos to be taken through just a phone, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to output-wise, you really cannot distinguish the difference between a photo that is taken in a good mobile phone compared to the one that was captured in DSLR or mirrorless camera. Output-wise, there's hardly no difference. But if you want to be a professional, then you should really get a proper camera.
Yeah, I'll quote this. I'm a self-proclaimed photographer. But
you are?
Yeah.
Aside from cooking?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you've seen the few shots that I've taken, but I have a website running and I post most of my photos there.
Really?
And
what do you focus on? Portraits, scenes?
Actually, I don't focus on anything. Like, I just take a photo of whatever it is that I have. So I have this one photo that I took that's just a full-on bunch of strawberries. So it's
What's the website called? I want to check it out, like real quick.
coffee and spice and everything nice.
Coffee. So you take photos of coffee?
Well, not yet, because it's been COVID and it's been.
Do you have like camera or something?
Oh no, I don't have an expensive camera. I just use my iPhone.
Oh, if you have an iPhone, that's a great gear for you to get started in photography. Because iPhones are known for having really great camera.
Yeah, and frankly, it's the only device that I have, so I don't really have a choice.
It's not with the gear, it's how you use it.
Yeah.
Like what my prof said.
It's true though. Like, as of the past few weeks, I've been working on my portfolio. So I have I think it's 25 pages, my portfolio, and I have about 2 photos each. And I actually take most of my pictures outside rather than the ones
right now
that
it's
are.
COVID. There's COVID, so
Yeah.
our mobility is kind of limited. So you really need to be resourceful. Oh, I just want to share that's actually one of the challenges of taking a photography course during this pandemic season, because you really have to be resourceful.
Yeah, indeed.
For example, we have to take a picture of height. But how? You need to come up with daily objects and create something out of it.
But what I miss about photography though is when this was post-COVID, I used to take a lot of pictures of people, especially in the BGC area.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot where it was, but there was a fountain in BGC, and at the right time of the day, around 1 p.m., 2 p.m., there are very few people near the fountain. And most days, what I would do is I would spot a couple sitting by the fountain, and I would take a photo of them either talking to each other, or I'd ask them to smile for the camera, and sometimes I don't. But yeah, those are a few of my favorite shots, but I had them posted on Instagram before until I couldn't access my Instagram anymore. So I'm not sure if it's still there or if it's been deleted already.
Actually, when it comes to photography, it's good to have. For me, quality is also of paramount importance, but what's more important is the subject. Whether your picture would tell a story or a good narrative for the audience. So the picture that you've taken of a couple is actually a good narrative, would provide a good narrative.
Yeah, and I have this other photo. Where is it? Have you found the website?
No, I haven't. Can you send me a link?
I sent it on Discord.
Wait, I can't access my Discord. Can you send it in my messenger?
Alright, hold on.
I can't access my Discord on my laptop. My messenger is open right now, so...
Alright, there it is.
Oh, okay.
This is also 2 of my favorite shots using camera lens. These are...
Oh, you're using iPhone X.
Yeah, these are very old phone camera lenses that I used in 2015.
They only have 2 shots here.
Yeah, on that
light and focus and black and white.
That just on that page of lenses. If you click on the category everything nice, that's where some of the other work is. Although it's not as updated as I want it to be.
Smartphone photography. Did you take a course?
No.
In photography, or it's just your side passion aside from cooking?
Side hustle.
Wow. You know, the grid, the focus. Oh, that's nice. I'm exploring your website right now. You also have kitchen tips.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been planning to update that, but yeah.
You should.
I think I'll be able to update it around August, because I still have some other unedited photos here on my phone that I'm putting together in a portfolio that I'm gonna post here soon.
I actually have a friend. He was the one who helped me in my photography, in setting up my photography portfolio. He's into photography, but he's only using iPhone. But he's really good, as in, he was actually the one who helped me in framing these objects, like what I've said. I'm a noob. I only have the camera, but I originally bought it for vlogging, not for photography. I was really nervous. I don't know where to begin. I was so overwhelmed with all the fundamentals, with the principles.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes practice.
Yeah, it takes a while to get the hang of it and to be able to ascertain which angle or perspective is the best in framing the subject.
Yeah, so that's why it's always good to have multiple shots in different angles.
Yeah, that's what my prof said. You cannot really take a perfect shot just by doing it the first time. You really need to take it a lot of times. It's like, what do you call that?
Trial and error.
Trial and error.
So today's topic is about the why and how talking to strangers is a good thing. Personally, do you think it's a good thing, talking to strangers?
So I think talking to strangers, it's a good thing because it's healthy for our well-being to socialize and talk to people. And one of the ways to socialize is to get out of our comfort zones once in a while and open up ourselves to some strangers. Because if you just imagine you and your best friends and your close friends right now, you guys have become strangers first, right? Before getting into that personal level. So if you just think of it, if you did not take the plunge of talking to that stranger, your life would have been so different right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it's a good thing, but it still depends on what kind of stranger you're going to open up to and how personal the information that you're going to share. Because we really need to limit the depth and the amount of personal information that we need to spill because we need to value our privacy and our safety, right?
Yeah, but there's this, like you mentioned, strangers are friends or potential friends. Like, people do start as strangers before they get to know each other. But do you believe in the saying that strangers are way better listeners than some of our friends or partner, or it's easier to share information with strangers? Do you find that weird?
I don't, because I know a lot of people who actually find it more comfortable to rant into random stranger rather than to people they know, because they can avoid judgment and embarrassment. I mean, that stranger will most likely forget your rant afterwards, or you won't care that much if he or she judges you because there's no personal attachment in there.
It's like the bias with people that you are close to won't be there, right? Like, you won't notice the flaws, I guess is the word. Or if you're a jolly person, usually when you feel down, you don't really talk about it with your close friends. That's how I am.
Yeah, that's you. I mean, you find it more comfortable to talk to strangers rather than your friends because they know you as this jolly person, and if you're going to rant into them, they would think that, their perspective of you would change. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, especially for those, because I have these different kinds of friends. There's the friends who see me as this jolly person, and then there's this set of friends who've pretty much seen or heard everything that I've been through. And let's say, let's take Sophia for example. At first, I guess I was not comfortable with, it's like I'm not comfortable with sharing certain details to her about, my struggles, because usually like I said, I'm the jolly person, and in our batch in AA, usually I'm as some of you may know,
youngest.
Well, no, I'm not the youngest. Like, Sophia is younger than me, and I portray, I guess, is I'm the student officer president for AA. So we have an organization.
Oh, you guys have that? We don't have that in BAMS. That's a revelation.
We started it up in our first trimester, and they wanted me to be the head because I'm the one that's always active in our Discord, and I'm always the one who I guess I'm somewhat close to the program director. So yeah, and at first, Sophia was in that circle of friends where I don't share any personal level stuff with until we got to a certain point that whenever I have troubles, I go to her. It's just strange. I find it comfortable letting their problems out to strangers. It's pretty common to have stalkers, strangers, right? So, for me, that's one of the cons of talking to random strangers about your certain problems.
Yeah.
When you're in public, do you talk to strangers a lot?
I think it's a good thing, but personally, it depends if you're going to talk to me first. Because when I'm in public, I usually have this intimidating aura wherein people think of me as really masungit and such, and I'm not approachable. So, but because I have a bit of social anxiety when I get anxious when I try to talk to people first. But once you talk to me, I would hardly stop rambling on and on about personal stuff about me. So I talk to strangers, but you have to take the initiative. How about you? Have you tried talking to strangers in public?
I like talking to strangers in a sense of interacting with them. Like interacting with the barista. The barista is sort of a stranger, right? So it feels good to interact with them, to talk to them about certain things. And then there's when you wait for the stop sign to turn red, right? Sometimes I talk to the people around. I talk to people around me.
You take the initiative to talk to them first?
Yeah, sometimes. I just have to, it assess people with how they look, or I guess what their vibe is. Because there are people who you can feel that do not want to have conversation at all. And there are those who are.
I think I fall to that category. You see me in public.
Although I've noticed that the nicest people often live in PGC. It's either they have so much time on their hands that they can talk to just anyone, or they're just so carefree about everything. Whereas you compare it to here in Quezon City, people are always in a rush.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one factor.
Trying to catch the jeep, they're trying to catch the bus. So people don't like talking to each other here, especially in the jeep station. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to go places.
I agree.
When we're out in public, we have a tendency to ignore people around us. It's normal, but we are aware of their presence. This is called civil inattention. It's the process whereby strangers who are in close proximity demonstrate that they're aware of one another without imposing on each other. A recognition of the claims of others to that public space and their own personal boundaries. Civil inattention involves in giving privacy to others when in public, and you are polite towards strangers, and we impose that we are not a threat to them. You give this smile, letting them know that you're kind, but you don't want to interact with them.
It's just mere politeness.
Yeah.
But you don't want to strike a conversation.
It's usually common in trains, in MRT or LRT, especially when it's siksikan na. Diba? For me, I'm like that I just smile at people when I'm in the MRT.
That's good. Actually, people like that, they make you feel good. Although it's little things like that counts.
Yeah. But sometimes people find it creepy. like
it depends on the stranger.
Yeah, it does depend, but some of my friends said whenever they come to me and they talk about that kind of interaction where they said a certain stranger smiled at them, and sometimes they
felt weird.
It's weird because it's either the way how the stranger dresses or how they certain vibe they give off, but sometimes it's just
multifactorial whether smiling at strangers is a good thing or not. Just like what you said, yeah, it depends to the vibe of the person.
Yeah, but at least now you don't need to smile,
Yeah,
right?
because of the face mask.
Yeah.
But you need to wiggle your eyebrows or something just to acknowledge.
Yeah, but you can do that without smiling though, which is still weird. I could imagine in the near future where nobody's wearing face masks and everybody's still kind of used to wearing face masks, where they would smile, where they would try to smile
with their eyes.
Their eyes, yeah. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
What do you think are the benefits of talking to strangers or new people?
Well, right now I can think of two. First, it will fulfill your needs for socialization.
Yeah.
So it's healthy for your mental health. I mean, no matter how antisocial you are, you still need at least one person to open up to, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're going through some sort of a dilemma. And we need others in our lives. Like, you know, it's cliche, but no man is an island, right?
Yeah.
And second, more importantly, in a corporate sense, it will expand your connections.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not have an idea that the stranger you're talking to is actually tied to your dream company or has further connections that can either help you land on your dream job or could help you set up your dream business. So I really believe that aside from education, personal connections are really vital and important and powerful in life when we speak in a practical sense.
I read an article yesterday and it's connected to your first example. According to the article on the New York Times, the book Consequential Strangers, The Power of People Who Don't Seem to Matter But Really Do, published in July 28, 2009, written by Belinda Blue, a science writer, and Karen L. Fingerman, currently a professor of psychology in the University of Texas, Austin. She studies the nature and effects of the so-called weak ties that people have in each other in their lives. Like the example that I gave earlier, the barista who fetches or makes your coffee, the barber or hairdresser you speak to in the salon, the proprietor of the local market. So those types of examples. In an interview by Dr. Fingerman, noted that casual connections with people encountered in the course of our daily lives can give people a feeling that they belong in a community, which are described as, like you said, a basic human need.
Yeah, and Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
As she and Miss Blue wrote in their book, consequential strangers, I quote, are so vital to our well-being, growth, and day-to-day existence as a family and close friends. Consequential strangers anchor us in the world that give us a sense of being plugged into something larger. They also enhance and enrich our lives and offer us opportunities for novel experiences and information that is beyond the purview of our main circles, end quote. Also, Dr. Fingerman's research also shows that people who are more socially integrated are also more active physically. Being sedentary kills you. And she said, I quote, "You have to get up and move to be with the people you run and exercise," end quote. So, consequential strangers also help our brain, she said, because conversations are more stimulating than with other people you know well. I found this really interesting. Conversing with strangers are a human need.
It is.
And
it's actually part of love and belongingness. I think it's on the third.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it? Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
No, but do enlighten me.
It's actually a psychological topic wherein you can search about it right now. Because you need to visualize it because it's a pyramid of needs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Abraham Maslow.
Oh, yeah.
Have you searched it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, so on the bottommost part is our physiological needs. And it's basically what we practically need to live. And belongingness and love, it's on the third tier.
Yeah.
intimate relationships, friends, and I think strangers also fall into that love and belongingness because you need to, just like what you said, strangers make us feel as if we are plugged into a bigger hole in a society. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah, it is.
Belonging, the need to belong into a bigger society, not just belong into a certain unit of society, which is your family.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have you had any weird experiences with strangers?
Weird experience? I will not deem it as weird, but I had that feeling when I talked to them for the first time, and yet it doesn't seem like they don't seem like strangers because our conversation has become so deep and it just became so free flowing. And you have that feeling as if, where have you been all my life? How come we just met now? So you have that feeling. But I don't know if that's good weird or bad weird.
I guess it's a good weird, but it could also be labeled as bad weird if you find that thing sort of creepy. Like, have you watched the movie Greta?
Greta?
Yeah.
I am familiar with it, but since it's kind of horror-ish.
Yeah, so Greta is a film where the main actor is played by Chloe Moretz, and she gets this bag from the subway train, and there's the name Greta on it, and then there's an address to return it to, right? So she goes to this address. By the way, this is a spoiler alert for some of you who may not have seen the film. Yeah, so she brings the bag to the address, and she gives it to an old lady, right? So the old lady then accepts the bag since she found it and invites her in for a cup of tea. I think it was tea. Yeah. So they have this conversation, a long, deep conversation, like you said. And she said she mentioned a line where she felt like she was her own daughter, and Chloe also said that. I think she said that it felt like she was comfortable with her, and if she needed company, she can call her for, whatever, for favors like that. As the movie goes on, it shows that they sort of become good friends until it gets kind of creepy because she gets clingy in a way that she stalks Chloe and
the woman that she met.
So Greta is the name of the old lady, right? So the old lady, Greta, she stalks Chloe Moretz in her job and sort of follows her everywhere. It's like she wants to know everything about her until the part of the movie where Greta starts to torment Chloe in so many ways that it just becomes so... It kind of puts a label on stranger danger, I guess.
Yeah.
Because technically they are still strangers, right?
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't know a thing about Greta, which made the movie more thrilling because there were so many things that went wrong. Usually it's either you do something stupid or something, good, which I guess sometimes it's difficult to categorize. Right. Have you heard of Good Pods yet? It's a new app where you can follow your friends and influencers to see what podcasts they're listening to. So for all of you who spend too much time scrolling around trying to find a new show, this will solve your problems. It works really well. Just download Good Pods on the App Store, pick some people to follow, and invite your friends. You'll never be without a good podcast recommendation again. Also, don't forget to follow me. I have my own podcast, as you know, and I love to get and give recommendations for other shows too. Now, back to the show. So,
how did it end? I got invested into the story.
So, it ended with Greta holding Chloe captive in a hidden wall behind her piano. So, she's left there to starve.
What's your motive for stalking Greta stalking Chloe Moretz and wanting to know everything about her?
Nothing. She was just bored. She was alone.
Yeah, that's creepy.
So, right.
Because I thought they're kind of related in some way. Maybe she's the mother of Chloe or something. or plot twist like that would take place in the movie.
Yeah, but
no?
No.
Oh yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's stranger danger right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so after telling this story, it kind of what do you think? Do you think strangers are automatically dangerous by default?
No. It really depends. There are millions of people in the world, and it's unfair to just label them into one kind of container, because there are really a wide spectrum of people in the world that you're going to meet, and not everyone's going to be creepy, and not everyone's going to be weird. Just like what I've mentioned earlier, some strangers are your potential friends, and some of them could even help you in a practical sense.
Let's say you want to start a conversation with a stranger. How would you do it?
How would I do it?
How would you initiate a conversation?
Maybe it depends, because it depends on the context. Because I used to enter a lot of auditions for TV, VTRs, and there were a lot of moments when you have to just fall in line and just wait for your turn, and it's a very long queue of auditionees. So if that's the case, there is a good starting topic for you guys to talk about. So I really initiate a conversation. So it really depends on the context.
That right there, I guess it's an example of the triangle sort of method that people use, or that's what it's called. It's usually two strangers who are either looking at the same thing or have this same thing in common at that moment, and you try to either you say something out of the blue about that particular thing.
That commonality.
So you just wait for them to comment, if they're going to comment, and then that's usually how the conversation starts. Another way is like there's this baby or dog factor that's pretty common. Right?
It's a good conversation starter.
Yes. So usually it starts in parks, right? So people would often converse with each other about dogs or the babies, and it is a good conversation starter, especially if you're in a neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Also, they try to start a conversation with either how the person dresses or what type of shoes they're wearing.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Right. So it's easier to start a conversation that way, but
with compliments, compliment whatever they're wearing.
Yeah.
That's a nice hat.
Yeah. Right.
Have you tried it?
For me, I don't really compliment anyone with how they dress or how their shoes look, because what they do is I assess how that person's stress level is before I talk to them. For me, I know that when I'm really stressed and I'm outside, I really do not like talking to people. Like, I would just keep my headset on and ignore everybody around me. Right? And for me, before I talk to anyone or any stranger, I try to look how they're smiling, or if they're sweating, or how they're
you examine their body
language. Yeah, if I can see that they're not stressed, I would talk to them. Like I would start with the weather.
Yeah, the weather.
Depending on what the weather is.
I was about to mention it.
It's the easiest way, right?
You usually start with the weather. I'm just really curious because you told me a while ago that you were homeschooled.
Yeah.
So you never had an experience in a classroom with first day of school, and you're in a room full of strangers, basically, but they're basically your classmates.
Well, I've experienced grade 1 and grade 2, but
really,
that, yeah.
When you're already matured.
I guess that would be when I was taking culinary courses.
Okay.
But the thing is, the people in that class, we were in different age groups.
Oh.
Because we were from, the youngest was, I was the youngest. So I was 16 at the time, and the eldest was 35. So there were big age differences. And the thing is, I got along with the eldest.
Yeah.
Because
that usually happens to me. I'm more comfortable talking to a stranger who's older than me Not with someone
same.
who's within my age gap. I don't know. That's one weird thing about me.
Yeah, well, I don't find it weird because I kind of understand how it is.
I don't know. I can't explain it.
Because it's either they give this sort of parent or guardian vibe when they're older, or it's just that we're
Hello?
not really
I got
used to
disconnected
talking to
again.
people our age. Like I've noticed, like
I think,
you're 21, right?
Yeah, I'm 21, and so you are.
Yeah, as am I. But I've noticed in our age group, I don't really fit in well because
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
because there are certain terms that I don't really get that our age group use.
But you're a Gen Z, so you're not that much into social media.
Yeah, I don't use much social media.
That's why.
So
I've noticed.
so there are so many terms that I don't really know that often separate me from the others that are the same age as us. How about you? Do you feel comfortable in your age group when you talk to them?
I am, but I just feel like I could learn more I could grow more from people who are older than me, and I think they have much more wisdom than people who are in my age group. So not really discriminating. I mean, you and I were in the same age group.
Yeah.
But I prefer to associate myself with people who are more mature than I.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm comfortable too if you're asking me. And then I can really get along with them too. But I prefer to be with more mature peeps.
How about kids?
Yeah, I get along with kids too. I mean, I'm versatile.
Like, I haven't even seen my inaanak, pero
I'm really good with
she's
kids.
about.
I love kids.
Right, they're so easy to get along with, and they're so hyper all the time.
Yeah, it just boils down to the energy. Because sometimes they still want to play with me at Nikki, blah blah blah, and they just gonna keep on babble about random things, and you're out of energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get you.
I mean, I get that I was energetic when I was a kid.
They would really exhaust you. Kids would really exhaust you.
Yeah. Lalo na yung there are these shy kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And often within the relatives, once they get used to you being around, and see how much they change, that they're actually so talkative.
Yeah, I actually smile to kids. I mean, even if I just meet them for the first time, because I love kids.
Yeah, same.
Maybe because I don't have a brother or a sister, so.
Oh, well, ano din kasi, it feels good when the kid sort of smiles back or waves back.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Do you do that in public?
Yeah, I do.
You smile?
Especially when the parent is not looking. I would smile and wave to the kid.
Yeah, especially sa mga bus.
Yeah.
Diba?
I do that.
Ano din kasi, parang especially when you're stressed from work or school.
Yeah, it relieves
you just see this kid and
when you interact with kids.
Remember this interaction I've had with this kid that's in the front row in the bus, and the kid was sort of half asleep, falling asleep, and the kid was just so sleepy, and he was staring at me too when he was kind of falling asleep. And then I would smile, and then the kid would try to wake up and smile back, but nakakatulog lang siya ulit.
That's adorable. That's really adorable.
So, grabe.
Because there are some kids who find it creepy and they would cry and they would turn to their parents. And you would try to act as if you didn't do anything.
Or you'd act asleep.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I haven't experienced it yet. I have a friendly face, sort of, I guess, I think. I don't know, I'm not really sure. I mean, some people said my face is friendly, but some also said I have a straight up bitch face.
What do you mean, your face?
Yeah.
I haven't seen your face. Because your profile picture in Facebook is your dog. I don't know if that's your dog or if it's just a random dog, but
It's a dog from a very close friend.
oh, okay. But I don't know what your face looks like. It's
It's
weird.
on the on the website.
It's not. If not, I mean, okay, I would check it out. It's weird because we're talking about talking to strangers and basically
We're like strangers.
Wait, let me check that out. Where about?
So if you go on the fundamentals of
Wait, but you're wearing a face
photography.
mask here.
No, go to fundamentals on photography.
Fundamentals photography. Wait.
Yeah.
Where's that located?
The everything is nice. The everything nice category.
Everything nice.
Right. So
Which one?
the fundamentals of photography, and then go to the portrait
I'm
mode.
here. Portrait mode. Oh, okay. That's you.
Yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, you kind of look matured for a 21-year-old. Yeah.
But do you think I have a bitch face, like what people often label me as?
I think it depends, but if you're going to keep this poker face, are you smiley in public or you're usually? I mean, without the mask.
Usually I do when I'm not stressed. I would spend my day off walking around
You
outside.
kind of look friendly to me.
Because
I don't know, compared to other guys, you kind of look friendly.
I mean, I am friendly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm not.
Kind of
I'm
friendly.
not really
That's
that
my first
difficult to
impression.
approach. You know, most first impressions I get is when they hear my voice first, rather than see how I look like. Is people would often get they would get scared of how I sound.
Why?
How
I
my
mean,
voice
yeah, it's kind of
sounds.
deep and it's so chill. You know, I think it's so chill. And deep and
But do you use Twitter Space?
Twitter space.
Do you have Twitter? Yeah.
I used to, but I had to quit for my mental health. It's not healthy for me.
Well, because there's this thing on Twitter that's like, it's sort of like Discord's voice call or stage. If you've used the Discord stage feature, Twitter has Twitter Space, and it's
What's
like
that?
it's like a voice call, but you can only allow 10 people to speak, so everybody else can listen.
Oh, okay. It's like your own
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah.
I'm so outdated with
So
Twitter.
you can interview people, or you can just have random conversations, and it's sort of like Clubhouse. If you've heard of
No,
Clubhouse,
I haven't.
it's like Instagram Live,
Yeah,
but just
IG
voice.
Live.
Yeah, so it's just voice, right?
What about that?
It's sort of a good way to meet strangers on Twitter, or the followers you have who you don't really interact with, and so sometimes I host a Twitter space, and
Oh,
I get a lot of first impressions that
your voice
my voice is scary. Yeah.
because it's kind of deep and it's so chill. Like there's no emotion. Like, yeah. Oh, maybe that's the reason why others find it creepy.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, at this point, I've gotten used to it.
So calm. So chill.
Yeah. So when you're outside, you need to learn how and when to be friendly to strangers, right?
Are you outside a lot? Because I'm not.
When I work,
I'm kinda-
yes.
I'm kind of sheltered, so.
So sheltered and sort of an introvert at that.
I'm an introvert, but when I get to be with people who I'm comfortable with, I get to be, comfortable with it and energetic.
Well, that's good. So it means you can like adapt better.
Yeah,
than
I
most.
can adapt. Like what I've said, I'm kind of versatile, but I prefer to be alone.
I mean,
If I'm gonna choose, if I have a choice, I would rather enjoy my solitude.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Alone time is really good.
Yeah, and it's healthy for your well-being as well. A healthy balance of alone time and socialization.
Here's what the environment was like for me when I worked. So when I worked, I would leave the house at around 6 a.m. and get to work at around 7. My shift starts from 8. right? So I'm always an hour early.
Yeah.
And my work consists of a lot of people in a very small space because I work in the kitchen, right? So it's hot. It's hot. It's fast paced. It's hot, and everybody's always shouting and moving, and
it's like a flurry of activities.
Yeah.
There.
So it's chaotic on most days, but in the 6 days of always spending a lot of time with co-workers and my boss, I like to spend my day off alone. Like, I would even sometimes I really don't know if my parents would listen to this podcast, but before I say this, I'm sorry, because there were days where I would tell my parents that I have work, but I don't really have work,
just for them not to bother you.
Yeah, because I feel ya. Because I just want to go out and relax and spend a day to myself, because it's so stressful to be around people.
Yeah. I get you. I totally get you.
That's also where I spend most of my time taking photographs.
When you're alone?
Yeah. Sometimes I would take photographs during the ride on the MRT, and sometimes I would take a photograph while I'm walking just on a random street where I haven't been to.
You just explore.
Yeah.
Like places around you and stay.
Like I have
it's basically your me time.
Yeah.
Me time is really important for our mental health.
It's also very therapeutic when you walk alone with music.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. Yeah, you're right. But have you ever felt alone because there was one time when I'm just commuting alone and eating alone, and I had this self-pity episode, like I don't have friends. Because that took place when I was in USD.
Yeah.
Because all of my friends, they were around Manila. There was no one from my block who lives in QC, so I have no one to go home with. And I'm alone every day, so that's one of the factors actually. That's why I transferred. I kind of felt alone. Have you ever felt alone? I mean, you were alone and you feel that kind of self-pity episode?
Yeah, I would feel that often when, actually the past few days, or the past week, sort of.
Especially in this kind of setup. But you're used to it, because you're homeschooled. Like, I don't know.
Well, I was used to the part of studying remotely here at home, but I like to spend a part of my day with, friends, talking to people, and all that sense. But I haven't really been outside for 7 months.
A year?
6 months. Because we've discovered the online grocery deliveries. So we don't really have any purpose to go out at all anymore. Felt alone the past week because, I get to talk to some of my friends, but my closest friend, Sophia, I haven't really talked to her.
No, sorry now, Sophia is like your closest friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's my best friend now. I haven't.
I'm kind of jealous though, because here in the setup, I would like to have a friend, like a close friend from OU. I have some, but not in that personal level.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of hard because you guys don't see each other.
Ayun, it's easy naman. Ano lang kasi, the thing is, it's our time difference eh.
Yeah, I guess so. I have some internet friends from UPOU from that.
Yeah.
But not on that level. When you get to share some personal stuff about each other.
Going back to the topic, I think we've veered away from this for so long.
Yeah. We digressed a lot.
What do you usually feel when you're around strangers? Do you feel threatened by certain strangers, or?
I kind of do somehow. Yeah, especially when I'm alone. Because it's really different when you're a girl or you're a lady and you're alone. Especially when it's about to be evening and it's nighttime, and that's why I kept on stressing on privacy and safety, because you can barely trust anyone nowadays. So I kind of feel uncomfortable around strangers, but it still depends on the context.
I've also read somewhere that it also depends on the culture. Because there are certain cultures.
Oh, can you elaborate on that?
There are certain cultures where people or strangers don't talk to each other in the street at all. And
maybe I think in Korea or something, because it's cold and I think I've heard about it somewhere. They're not into conversations.
Yeah, and it's also certain cultures where, I think it's in Canada, somewhere in Canada, where there's really no crime at all done in that certain area. So people feel comfortable with talking to each other, and yeah, they just feel comfortable with talking to strangers in that area. I think it's in Vancouver. I'm not sure. I forgot.
That's interesting. But we cannot really compare it here in the Philippines. But yeah, that's one factor. That's one good factor that you mentioned. Culture is part of it. Let's talk about Omegle.
What?
Omegle.
Oh my god.
You forgot about it.
I totally
we're supposed to talk about it.
Okay, so do you use it?
Yeah, I used to a few years back in junior high school.
Yeah.
I have used Omegle out of curiosity, but not the video chat feature.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's really waiting for you there.
Oh my god.
Maybe some
stranger is so
nasty stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, I do have some friends who use Omegle to find a romantic partner.
Oh. Wow.
But I don't think it's the optimal option because with the chat feature, you really cannot ascertain whether the person you're talking to is actually a guy or a girl.
Nor how old
there
he
are no
is,
profiles, unlike in dating apps.
Yeah.
Have you used it?
No, I never use it.
Well, do you know how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
My friends use it. Mostly they do just use the chat feature over the video.
Yeah.
Because, like what we mentioned earlier, it's easier to talk to strangers about certain personal things that you can't really discuss with your family.
You can divulge to your close friends and...
So, they would use that platform to release their stress and
to rant.
Yeah. I haven't heard of anyone who used the platform for any dating purposes.
My friend, I know a friend who had just a short fling because of the video chat feature.
It's bizarre.
It is, but it happens. And I see a lot of videos actually. If you're into Facebook, you're not much into Facebook, right?
No.
But I see a lot of people using Omegle for their content. Like in their YouTube, they would talk to strangers and they would try to flirt for somebody. They would flirt with somebody there. Just some kilig to hype content.
But there are also so much inappropriate things on there.
Yeah, actually, I hear a lot of people knowing your location and
No, it's not just that. It's it's just so many R-rated things when it comes to the video calls.
There were just some creepy guy who would show his private part randomly. Because you're going to be paired randomly, and you cannot specify the age or something.
You can specify certain categories. Like my friend mentioned that you can choose a category that's only Filipinos, or you have a certain...
but you cannot really. There's not much of a more stringent filter that would help you sort some people out.
And I think there's really...
It's just one word, Filipino.
And I don't think it's really possible to avoid that because there's so many...
It's inevitable in that kind of platform. That's why it's really important to value your privacy and know the risks.
Yeah, well, it's really simple. Don't use it.
Don't use it. What others do, just out of plain curiosity or fun.
Just to wrap up the episode, we talked about how talking to strangers is, in a sense of interacting with them, is good for our health. It's a need or a necessity in human nature. We also discussed about the benefits that it would have. It helps you grow your connections with people, right? It's from strangers to friends to close friends.
And
sometimes strangers can also become your partners and maybe soon your spouse,
Yeah,
right?
in a corporate sense or in the world of employment.
But there are certain factors that you need to remember when you're talking to strangers. Remember the word stranger danger. Just be prepared or be careful
For the
when you
risks.
talk to strangers. Be sure to know when and where to talk to them.
You should know the context. You should assess the context. Is it, where did you meet them? And is it online, or if it's in person, is it in a bar or school or your workplace? Because from there, you can assess how much and what sort of information or detail about you that you would divulge. Because privacy and safety, they're really important.
And last but not least is it's learning when to be friendly and when not to be.
Yeah.
So this is to protect yourself and mostly to protect yourself, honestly.
And you should study the body language of the person, whether, just like what you said, do they look stressed or
they're stressed or happy or they're sweating or they're in a hurry or something like that, because there are rude strangers. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
So
Really?
I mean, I've noticed that a lot, especially when you're in the MRT and everybody's trying to get to work. Everybody's certainly
This is rush hour.
Yeah.
It brings out the worst in anyone, the Manila rush hour.
Especially when you're in the MRT and it's like, parang longganisa na sa loob.
I haven't experienced it.
Don't. I hope you don't. Lalo na pag namatay na yung aircon. Ay, Diyos ko.
Oh.
Yeah, that happened once.
Oh my gosh, I haven't experienced that, thank God.
And the worst part is when that happens, and I was in the window area, so andun yung araw. So,
and it's really hot.
Yeah.
It kind of burns your skin. It could really be stressful. It's like if somebody tries to talk to you, shut up!
Yeah.
You would just be in that mood. So you need to assess the mood and the body language of the person.
And the time.
Yeah. And the timing. Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to Rhyme and Reason Podcast. You can support us by subscribing to our podcast in the Anchor app. The support for our podcast will allow us to produce more interesting episodes in the future. If you like that episode, please hit that like and that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below to let us know what you think about the episode. Follow us on Twitter by clicking the link in the description. We have a weekly Twitter space so listeners can share their thoughts and insights that they have gained from our podcast. We really love seeing your guys' support and receiving your comments. So if you have the time, do drop by, and who knows, you may just become one of our guests in our episodes. See you next time.